delivered on those counts. But that wasn't why the knots in the pit of my stomach tightened with every minute it took to get there. Because what I really needed, more than a comfortable chair and more than rustic decadence, was a fresh start. That, though, wasn't going to be easy, as I discovered days ago when I'd first seen a repeat of a newscast about it. The Fortune Springs Settlement Initiative was a scholarship or bursary fund of sorts, where the town, which apparently had a female population deficit, planned to select a few young women every year to come to their town, live in one of their houses for free, and get paid to hopefully stick around and start businesses or families. The deadline for applications was a full month ago, but I hadn't seen the news story or website's promises: full room and board for a year, a job or a small business loan, and a living stipend, until it was too late. The minute I'd seen it, though, I printed out the application and filled it out, then recklessly caught the first bus heading west. I could only hope that, since this was their pilot year, they might have some space for me. After all, who besides someone like me was going to come out here to the middle of nowhere in search of a new life? Only the truly desperate. Maybe no one was as desperate as me. Maybe no one else had showed up. I had to hold on to that hope. It was my only chance. A long shot, really, more than a chance. But I had to take it. Or rather, I had to try. I wasn't going back to Savannah, Georgia, and I wasn't going back to him. Virginia Bessel, get yourself together. A shiver shook my shoulders. A miracle considering the sweltering heat of the bus. Thankfully, the driver's voice over the crackling loudspeaker pulled me away from cold, dark thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, our next stop will be Fortune Springs. Please collect all your belongings. Next stop, Fortune Springs. Most of my fellow travelers had gotten off the bus at the bustling Denver station, which left the aisles clear for me to shoulder my backpack and make my way to the front. I didn't need to pull anything down from the overhead racks, nor would I need to collect any belongings from the lower storage compartments once the bus crawled to a stop. Everything I owned, I now carried on my back. If any of the remaining passengers noticed this, or my teenage runaway getup of a hooded sweatshirt, ripped jeans, and broken-sole tennis shoes, none of them mentioned it. No one even looked up. As the bus pulled to the curb, I kept my head low and considered thanking the bus driver. He looked tired, run down. He looked almost as bad as I felt. Thanking him would be the right thing to do, the kind of thing I would have done back in Savannah. But it was also the kind of needlessly polite gesture that was out of place in a crowd like this, which might have left an impression. The last thing I wanted was to leave an impression, to be identifiable in any way. All of this, the cross-country road trip, the new life in a small town, the fact that I'd tossed my cell phone in a garbage can in Tupelo, was about disappearing. Not about being seen. I bit my tongue and waited for the bus to come to a complete stop before descending the stairs, taking the first step into my new life. Whatever I'd been expecting that new life to look like, what greeted me when I reached solid ground was not it. For one thing, the Fortune Springs stop was not in the middle of town, like the station in Denver. And not even on a main street, like several of the other small towns we'd swung through on our great journey across the country. Nope. This bus stop found me on the side of the highway. I gripped the one good handle of my backpack as I scanned the horizon. No one in sight. Nothing but the surrounding scenery, the sight of which slightly improved my mood despite myself. Snow-peaked mountains and endless sky. Rich, clay soil and shockingly green grass. And just there, in the distance, I could just see the beginnings of a small town down below. The walk would be at least a mile, maybe more. Over my shoulder, I glanced at the retreating bus. Nothing for it now. I just had to